Welcome to Inside the Studio at the Texas Heart Institute. I'm Camila Hochman-Mendez, and I'm here with Dr. Henk Granzier from University of Arizona. And I would, first of all, thank you for coming to speak at the Grand Rounds. It was a very exciting and inspiring talk. So one thing that has kind of impressed me and kind of amazed me was the idea that we do have the heart failure with ejection fraction that is also called as HFpEF, that it actually accounts for 50% of the heart failure patients. And when you're thinking about that, and you think that these patients does not have any effective option for treatment, it kind of is impressed. And then we're getting concerned of how we can do that. And one thing that is also interesting is your idea of using one of the largest proteins in the heart, that it kind of work as this spring that makes the heart, when it contracts, kind of return to the regular specific size, and how this could have to help to alleviate some of the symptoms that the patients really felt. So I was always wondering, although I know that you start with the muscle cells and how that happens and helps in other cell types, how you get into this field. So how you start thinking, okay, maybe we can use this knowledge of how we can modulate this protein to get and understand and alleviate the symptoms from patients that really suffer with HFpEF.
Well, thank you, Camila. First of all, I would like to say it's a pleasure to be here at the Texas Heart Institute and to be so warmly hosted by you. And it was a pleasure to be able to speak. How did I get into the HFpEF field? Through colleagues, through clinician scientists I worked with, who probably recognized before I did that Titin might be relevant to HFpEF. And they educated me to the clinical relevance. And for a basic scientist like myself, it is important to have clinical relevance, because obviously it relates to your likelihood of being funded. And much more importantly, we want our work to be relevant. We want to have fun in the lab, but ultimately help others, help patients. So for me it was very exciting, not at all planned, but it happened to be that my work was clinically relevant, so that was a very uplifting experience. It's relevant for HFpEF, but also relevant for genetically based DCM patients. And I will never forget the first time a parent called me up on the phone who had found out about me studying Titin and who had a son, in that case, who had Titin mutations, and I couldn't believe it that a patient or a parent of a patient came to me to try to help them. It was very motivating, and I have even worked harder ever since.
Yeah, so you know that this is what I'm thinking about, what even is the idea and the mission of the Texas Heart Institute. It's and this is what I completely agree, that it would be kind of one of my dreams, like really get into what do you have that was like basic research, right? A molecule and kind of genetic and modifications and proteins modification, and that is specific. Kind of not small, because it's a gigantic protein, but how we can really translate it to the patient, right? And I was thinking about HFpEF, right? So HFpEF is a multifactorial disease that involves also the immune system, so inflammation and fibrosis. And one thing that also struck me from your presentation was the idea that maybe already established medications for other diseases could be explained, or some of the improvements in clinical view or in the clinical side could be explained by change in this kind of not maybe thought mechanism, right? So, and do you think that maybe a combination of treatments will provide a better outcome from in the kind of the clinical settings?
I think, HFpEF is such an important syndrome, and it's so, so many patients are affected by it. We have to be creative. Even if a certain type of therapy only helps out a little bit, or a combination of approaches, and you can exercise a little bit better, and you can have a better quality of life. That is very important already. So being creative and combining approaches, each of which may be adding a little bit of quality of life, that would be important. So yes, combination of treatments, if it provides benefit, that definitely should be studied.
Yeah. So, and that is also why I was very excited when I first read. And I need to say, I learned a lot from your manuscript. So it was a very fun and kind of informative reading. So, and this is when I start thinking, okay, we might be able to maybe use a treatment that has a more versatile way of doing this, that it kind of may affect the fibrosis and decrease the immune response, plus changing the structure. It might be helpful. And this is why I think that is partnership with you in made the project really doable, and I was very excited. So how do you think that this kind of international and national collaboration with other investigators might help to advance the field, right? And the research field, not only on the research setting, but also in the clinical setting.
There's just so much you can do on your own, and so by getting expertise from different areas, to come together, you're so much more powerful. And I think science is done best through collaborations where you influence each other, get each other excited, and challenge each other. So collaboration, I think, is very important. The days that you could do science in isolation in your own lab, they are in the past. Collaboration is very important, especially for such complex syndrome like HFpEF. Basic science, scientists from different areas working with clinician scientists. I think if we join forces, we probably have a reasonable chance to make advances quickly. If we work on our own, it would take much longer if we ever will get there. So, and also it is more exciting, I believe, to collaborate, especially international collaborations. Not only does your science greatly benefit, you get to experience different cultures and learn a lot and get a deeper understanding of human mankind and your research.
Yeah, so thank you very much for coming to the Texas Heart Institute. It was a very interesting day, and it was amazing to talk to you and learn a little bit more about HFpEF and how the future of the options are opening for us. And I really want just to say that we are here happy with this collaboration, and I hope that this collaboration is even more fruitful in the future.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I'm happy to be your collaborator.
Thank you.